So good afternoon, everyone. I'm so shaking right now, but so thrilled to be here. I love working with people, love working with ideas, stories, and I'm very honored to be here, listen to a bunches of very interesting and very inspiring story being told by youngster out there. Thank you so much for your stories and for your inspiration. All right, so today I'm talking about the power of media to change perception. I love to be a media producer, a media maker when I was very small, when I was 5 years old. I always wanted to become a TV producer, and now I'm a TV producer. I've been traveling, working in 75 countries all over the world, and I have a lot of story to tell, right? Today we listen to the story in Vietnamese, in English, and in another language, because in my speech today, it's not only me. I will bring two other guest speakers. Those are the people that I have a chance to see them, to be inspired by them, and use them as the case study to tell story. And today I'm so honored to bring them here to tell story in different languages. All right, so let me first ask you, so do you believe that a story can change how people see the world, right? So right now we have the phone, for example, we're scrolling to TikTok, we watch the meme, we like it, and then we move on, right? The social media and the media nowadays is very fast, very addictive, but entertaining. Do you love TikTok or do you love short reel content?
Not really, no.
Anyone in here don't? Raise your hand. See? A lot of people in here, they're addicted to that. And we believe that we are living in the economy of attraction. So your time matters. Thank you for your time being here, looking at me, listen to my story. So, and I would tell the story about two projects that I've been working for the last 20 years. I've been working in this media, producing film, creating TV spot, working for the radio, being MC for MTV Asia in Singapore, living with people who live with HIV, living with the people who identify themselves as drag, and living with people who identify themselves as the drug addicted, all right? So, let's going back to 18 years ago. Do you remember 20 years ago, 18 years ago, how people see people living with HIV? Very negative images. They see it as a sickness, right? They see it as something very abnormal. And they're showing the statistics saying that people are dying to know about HIV. And it is very negative, and it's very bad. I remember I watched a musical, it's called Rent, from New York, from Broadway. And then they started to raise the awareness of people about stigma, discrimination. So imagine, you are the only one in here who does not speak Vietnamese. So you feel being isolated, right? And the stigma, discrimination can be everywhere. I'm the richest man in this room, I'm being isolated, all right? I'm the poorest man in this room, I'm being isolated. And we heard a bunch of the story from the student there saying that, oh, I feel alone, I don't belong to this community, and it's prevent us from growing, right? So, back 20 years ago, the way media transcribe the story, tell the story, is very negative. And media is very powerful, as we see nowadays, right? A lot of TikToker, live streamer, they sell things on the media, and they don't have the dignity of selling that, but they can influence a lot of people. So I confront with this project 18 years ago. It is called Raise the Awareness for the Young People from 15 to 25 about HIV and AIDS. And the biggest message would be, why can we stop stigma discrimination to HIV and AIDS, or people living with HIV? At that time, people called with the terminologies like victim, nạn nhân, or they call them nạn nhân HIV instead of people living with HIV, người sống cùng với HIV. So the media and the terminology being called the media changed the way that people think about people, right? So we decided, oh, it is very hard task. I can call it Herculean task, but we can do it. How? Instead of throwing the statistic to people, we tell story. So I traveling around Vietnam for a whole year, living with people. I living with the prostitutes. Now they call them sex worker, but previously the media called them prostitute. Very stigma, very discriminated terminology. But the sex worker, I live with them. I listen to their story, and I spend a lot of time staying with them. The people living with HIV, and I bring the real story to the audience to get the empathy. So let's listen to the first story being told by a woman living with HIV from Hải Phòng.
Của mình với những người xung quanh. Với các đồng nghiệp, tôi vẫn là một thịnh thích tán gẫu và vui tính như trước kia. Bạn bè tôi rất tuyệt vời, họ luôn ở cạnh tôi khi tôi cần. Và bây giờ tôi có một nửa của mình. Không ai biết tương lai thế nào, nhưng dù điều gì có thể xảy ra đi nữa, tôi luôn sẵn sàng đón nhận, miễn có gia đình, bạn bè, đồng nghiệp và người yêu bên cạnh hiểu và chấp nhận tôi chẳng bao giờ đơn độc.
So it's from 18 years ago, and I was so proud until now. This project created a lot of impacts for Vietnamese people, so they changed their behavior toward the people who living with HIV. I call them vulnerable community. And the more I work in this journalism, the more I get into a cult with a lot of very sensitive story. The way that we see people, the way that we tell the story, it's different, right? So if we change the perspective of our view, the way we see it will be different, right? We change the story, therefore we change the response. And simply because media doesn't just tell story, it can challenge what we think that we know, all right? And the second project that I'm working with, let's say 10 years ago when I started work at a communication specialist for VTV7, the very first educational channel in Vietnam. I worked with the deaf children, and at that point they call them, what do you know? To be polite, what do they call them? Deaf people, trẻ điếc. Yeah, they usually call them trẻ khiếm thính, translated into English, impaired hearing. So it is very painful. When I talk to the deaf people all around Vietnam, they say that, oh, I'm so isolated from this community. My family, they love me, but they don't communicate with me well. Why? Let's think about the perception of language. Remember, the first word that you say when you were born is mama, mama. From your country, what is that?
Mom.
Mom, yes. So, because we can speak. So imagine what happened if we are deaf. What happened if we are dumb, right? We have no tool to learn new things, right? Education will be the way to provide you with the tool, right? And we explore that. We can change that through sign language. Sign language is very beautiful, and through learning sign language, I learned that the deaf community is very beautiful. They're also excited, eager to learn, just like you are. And they told me, don't see them as disabled. Let's see them, let's look at them as the ethnic minority in Vietnam, and they have their own language, right? A deaf community, a deaf tribe, and they have the language tool to learn new things. But at that point, there is no VSL. There is no Vietnam Sign Language. In America, there is ASL, which is American Sign Language. But Vietnam, we don't have it. Back to 18th century, there were 3 branches of sign language in Vietnam. The first one in Hải Phòng, the second one in the Da Nang, the center part of Vietnam, and the third one is in Bình Dương, the southern part of Vietnam, and it is different. It is totally different. And even though you are an adult, the vocabulary, glossary in you just 1,000 words. What can you learn with just 1,000 words, right? So how can we change that? We designed a campaign to teach, to raise the awareness to the deaf people, to the parents, to the family, to the supporters that sign language is the only way that we can give to the deaf people and help them to learn and help them to be included. So with that project from IDEO, so we created a TV show. It's called 5 Sign Language Word Every Day, and then create a campaign teaching the school, including inclusive school. And we teach that to all the school all over Vietnam. We have the seminar, the webinar, all of these outputs to influence people to shift back the thoughts, the negative thought about deaf people and about sign language. And I have met some very interesting story about deaf people. She can learn further. She can get higher education through sign language. And let you tell yourself a story, okay? Okay, be prepared for another story being told by sign language. When I was first in Sa Dan Secondary School, I was just 6 years old. I have no idea. I don't know what it is to see the word. So my teachers at school said that just repeat after me, looking at my mouth. And even though I don't understand, I just try to imitate it. When I met my parent, I really want to use that language to talk to them. But they couldn't understand what was I'm talking about. And even though I got a lot of encouragement from them, there was a big barrier from them for communication. Even though I tried so hard to talk to them, they have no idea what I'm trying to explain. My Vietnamese, very broken, very limited. None of my family members can understand. I saw people talking to each other. They talked to their family. I couldn't. I was so sad. And then I heard that in the South, there's a specific school that teach sign language very good in Dong Nai. I was immediately really want to fly there, but there's no support from my parents. It was because I was so small at that point. So disappointed was my feeling at that time, because I just can understand what being taught through mouth reading. But at my place, there's no other school. And I have to learn from other deaf people. And then I knew about the program at the college, teaching sign language. I was so nervous at that point. Am I capable to pass the exam or not? Someone told me that I'm so old to learn. To me, it doesn't matter. I have to learn to take progress. So my parents at that point, they supported me to get to the College of Education and Pedagogy, but they weren't sure whether I passed or not. Very fortunate that I got passing, and my parents were so happy. We're trying to help the teachers at the school learning about sign language. We support each other. And we also learn from other deaf community, other people surround us, including the supporters. When I was small, I didn't have a chance to study things through a sign language. Now I realize that I have to learn it. So that is the message that I want to bring here. She will be the one to tell the message about sign language. So as you can see, through two stories about media. Thank you so much. And a round of applause for our technical staff and very young and talented student here for organizing this event. Thank you so much. So, media is very powerful. You can see that, right? And today we have the media, we have our voice being amplified. Therefore, it can be listened by young people here, some expert in here, parents over there. Thank you, parents, for coming here, for supporting for your children. Unwavering, right? Sure, right? So VSL, Vietnamese Sign Language. So with this project, we prove that sign language is the language, is also the identity, also the belonging. And I was so happy after 10 years, more and more students get a chance to study higher. 10 years ago, less students can get hired to secondary school. But now they got master's degree thanks to VSL, Vietnamese Sign Language. And I'm so proud to be part of those because I'm not giving them the media to raise their voice. I also give them the chance to get to the language, to understand and be proud of their identity and also found their belonging. Okay, so why I mentioned two of those stories? Because you understand, media is very powerful, right? But for this type of media, it's harder, right? Because it's not sexy all the time. So it's not chasing a million views over a night. What does it chase? It doesn't chase a click, right? So it chases the dignity, the connection, the truth, and that's what really matters. So I want to connect it to our keyword today, the unwavering. The unwavering is simply something that I've been chasing for the whole life, for the media output to tell the story. I have many titles in my life, a professor at the college, the media producer, a film producer, a TV host in the TV every morning, every afternoon, because I live far away from here. I live in Vũng Tàu City. Therefore, I want to be on TV every day, live there. Then my parents can look at me. And today, I've been here to tell another story. I promised that I would tell the story on the television tomorrow about my time in here. It's been Smart City School, and I look at you. You're so proud when looking at your student like Trúc Anh, right? You will almost burst into cry, right? So it's very beautiful. So do believe that what we do nowadays, through every small step, cannot get to the clicks, million clicks, but get to the authenticity, to the connection. So media is very powerful. And I hope that with the question that I'm asking you from the beginning of the speech, do you truly believe that media can change the way we see the world? Because here I believe if just one of you in this room today leave the room and try to tell the story, to support the isolated people, to support them, to tell the story about dignity and raise someone up. We have the unwavering spirit already begun. All right? So remember, media can heal, media can divide and choose the story you want to tell. I do believe that you guys are the best storyteller. So you have a voice, you have a phone, you have a platform. Think about the keyword of unwavering and tell meaningful story. Thank you so much.